Alright, REDG. Got in this yesterday again. I've been in and out of this a couple times. Not too big of a positions. I think I was right around about 175,000 shares or whatever. It ended up being, I had a $1,300 cash account to play with. Got in somewhere around 0.80 the other day when I started seeing this little run up and thought I'd hold it to see how it did in the morning. Saw the gap up here, kind of was excited to see if it kept pushing, but of course it failed. I almost actually got nervous at this point because you had these three spikes that actually, this one right here actually broke down to 74, which was a bit under where I was. But once I saw it pull back, and this one kind of pull back, and you get these hammers here. Even this one here, generally this starts to show a reversal, but this hammer was kind of before the market even came into play, so I don't really trust it that much. But at this point, you got your hammer, and it was right where the market pretty much opened. So your volume came in, hammer symbol, or hammer, whatever you want to call it, candle, and then it was off, and I kind of just hung out in it. I was watching it here, not much volume, just side trending, which is technically a good sign. And once I got this little breakout, I kind of could relax for the rest of the day because I was up to a point. Once it broke this one and found support here, I knew for the most part I didn't really have to panic at all. So it was a relaxing ride for the most part. I watched it go through up until about 146-ish, 147 we got here, 148. I did start seeing on the L2 that this thing was turning around, so I got out here at 145. Kind of glad I did. Thing tanked down pretty quick, which was like a, can't remember what it was, 12-15% retrace, 12, something like that, which was, which is a nice dip. Basically I wanted to buy this dip, and I don't remember what I got into, but I got into basically looking at another chart. I missed the dip. I didn't really want to chase it, and at this point I was kind of pissed I didn't. So as I was beating myself up here, it kind of peaked at 150. I saw a tremendous wall, and it downtrended, so I knew it was going to come back. I kind of had a feeling it might test 150 again, so when this little dip here happened, I got in at 143. And of course, it never made it back up, which pissed me off. And it came back down here. I sold. I think I got out around 140. So I took a very little loss. I think I was in it like $2 grand. It came back down. I might have lost $100, not even. And it bottomed out here. I gave it a few minutes. I saw the L2 was still very heavy on the sell side, so I waited here. I saw this dip. I saw this dip, and then I saw it come back and retrace. And at this point, I kind of knew we were good to go. So I got back all in right around 130. And for the most part, all of this right here, this is, today's profit takers. You got to expect it. It ran into resistance. It was coming up on the end of the day. This is basically the last half hour of the day right here. So what do you expect? People want to take their money. Thing was up 50% or 50 something percent at this point. You got to expect this downtrend. Does it mean it's weak for tomorrow? Not really. I like the fact that volume came in here. It looks like volume wants to come in here. I don't know. It might downtrend. This thing tends to kind of have its little morning spike and then collapse for a minute and then kind of uptrend the rest of the day. It's been doing it. If I pull up 5 days, you basically got your spike here, down, uptrend. The day before, huge spike, down, uptrend. This day was a little different, but you still had your huge spike. You come down. So if you kind of wait for this thing to bottom out and bought, you might have lost out at the end of the day. But you could see this downtrend. You had a lot of opportunity to get out and minimize your losses at this point. But every day, big spike, big downtrend, and then a big drop and then uptrend for the most of the day. So, you know, kind of guessing it might do the same thing tomorrow morning. So let's see. So basically here, you know, 131, 132. That's where it's basically sitting. So, wow, it actually came down a little bit. Let's see. There we go. Yeah. So hopefully we get a run in the morning. Hopefully there's volume. You know, we got a few little resistance areas here. Hopefully it cracks through. This is your big one here. So my main goal is to see what it does at 150. If it's a tremendous wall here again and it looks like it's going to ricochet off, I'm pretty much going to be out here. Basically take my 10% or whatever profit. And I'll probably buy back in on a dip. I like buying these dips because they're actually, you know, 10, 15, 20% every time. So that kind of adds up, especially when I'm working with a little small account, you know. And basically after 150 it's blue skies. So this thing cracks 150. I mean, I don't want to say it's going to go to 2 cents right away, but if it cracks 150 and finds support at 150, that's going to be a awesome day for me. I won't even get out if it does that. I'll just hang out until I see any signs of any return. And that's pretty much it. If you look here, I have my equity feed. You basically have, let's see here, a bunch of Form 4s, which if you look, boom, is basically, it looks like insider purchases of stock, which is a positive sign. These guys are basically taking 5 million shares of stock. There's a bunch of these things. Let me just see here. There's another one. There's another one. There's another one. Double that one up. 5 million, 5 million, 5 million, 5 million, and the last one, 5 million. So basically, all of these insiders. What do you got here? You got your chief business development officer. You got your chief CTO. You have your chief intellectual prop office, whatever. Your CEO and your COO. So all of these guys just got 5 million shares they took of the stock. And basically that tells you 0.048 they got, 0.053, 0.048, 0.048. That's just a good sign. It's just showing basically that all these guys are investing into the company again. And, you know, they can't sell these shares for, I believe it's 90 days. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So you got 25 million shares that got sucked up. That's unsellable. So just kind of gives you, you know, the idea that these guys have a little bit of faith in their company, and it's just a good sign when you see people buying. So I'm in it for tomorrow. Let's see how it goes. Not much technical analysis I'm really going to throw on this. You know, you got my 20 moving average here, which this is way below. So it's showing, you know, it's kind of oversold right now. It's definitely in a bearish state, but, you know, definitely you could see it happen here. You can see it happen a few times. It generally will recover and get back above it and kind of float above it. Usually sits above it most of the days. Should be alright. We'll see how it goes tomorrow morning, but sorry I can't really give you much more insight on this except for, you know, the Form 4 news, and, you know, these are just profit takers for the most part. And a ton of people are kind of holding on to this, letting it run. They got a Comic-Con coming out, but that's like, you know, I think that's a couple months down the road. You got a few different things happening with them as far as, let me see here, REDG, just if there's any other news. Nope, that's it. So